Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I am Jason from Jason Leroy. This is my new necklace. We'll get it out for a second. It's from my boyfriend. So I'll probably be wearing that a lot more in my videos. I haven't posted a video in about a while, so I was hoping to do that today. Not only that, I haven't really posted a, content video in a bit. I've posted a lot of action figure reviews, and I posted that one Gen X, Pokemon, which I hated doing. I actually am no longer friends with that guy, so I'm gonna probably retire that, but yeah, if you have that context, you know why I'm no longer friends with him, because he's a toxic ass friend. Anyway, it was just bad for our mental health in general. Today I'm going to be reading a book that I wrote myself, and it's called Am I Dead Yet? It's not a long book, so don't worry. If you are going to stay here for a while, I appreciate it, and I am really glad that I have a supportive fan base, and I'm just really glad for everything that I have in my life right now. Thank you, genuinely. So, Am I Dead Yet? Prologue. Okay, this is one of the stupidest prologues I've ever written. I'm not gonna read it. I've ruined the entire book for you. That's basically it. Chapter 1. A blank slot. He wasn't paying attention. Not to the teacher's voice, not to the ticking of the clock, not even to the whispering of his peers. No, Thomas had other things on his mind. The itch of harm filled his brain as he tugged at his sleeves, pulling them over his hand bones once he found people were staring. They weren't caring about how he got them, not why, nor why he wanted them. All they cared about was the fact that they were there. Curious to see what everyone was staring at, Thomas looked down at his wrist. He saw a few cuts there, nothing new. He almost forgot that he wasn't normal, that he was subpar to the human race. And all because someone told him that he looked bad the other day. Maybe he forgot to use deodorant and had a smell in his armpits. Maybe it was his hair that couldn't be tamed. Whatever it was, Thomas had hurt himself over it. And now people were staring. Staring at what they thought needed to be fixed, gone without a trace. Thomas couldn't let them think like that. He wouldn't allow his wounds to become a bruise in their minds. So, without second warning, he raised his hand up high for all to see, still holding the cuff of his sleeve, so he's actually doing this. I don't know if you can, let's check if you can see that or not. He's basically doing like this. He's holding it over his, not over his arm, but so that no one can see the scars on his wrists. Where was I? Okay. He watched as the teacher turned to look at him, opening her eyes and adjusting her glasses. Thomas, what is it? She asked nicely. He looked at the clock. Could I go to the counselor's office? I'm not feeling the best, he explained. The teacher, rather solemn, nodded and allowed the greenhouse to leave. He was eternally grateful for his teachers. They didn't question him, but the person he was going to would. As Thomas walked down the hallways, he saw a boy drinking from the water fountain, a girl searching through her bag, and a group of teens entering through the main door. This didn't mind him much, nor did he mind it. Finally, my hero entered the office, closing the door shut behind him. You again? The attendant said without speaking. She spoke with her eyes. Hey, can I speak to Mr. Rockefeller? Thomas asked, but he already knew the answer. It was against the law for students to be refused help, whether they needed it or not. Yeah, he's in his office, the woman said, turning away from the black-haired teenager. That's a run-on sentence. I'll just fix that. She must have been trying to hide from his green eyes. They always did blare into the real world. A world he couldn't allow. Behind him followed a man, a boy, a child, whatever you want to expect him to be. Yet this creature wasn't alive, nor was he breathing, or was he ever living. Instead, he was a figment of Thomas's imagination, and despite what he told himself, he was hallucinating the man. Thomas gripped the metal of the doorknob as he slid the door away from himself, allowing entry. "Thomas, are you alright?" Mr. Rockefeller asked. "Not really," Thomas replied simply. "Why's that?" the old man asked. "It feels like the world is crashing. Not that it already has crashed, but that it's in the process of crashing." Thomas explained, or that was what he thought he was doing. "I don't understand. Tell me more," Mr. Rockefeller asked calmly, being patient with the young man. After all, you didn't want to send him off. Now, that isn't a nod to Thomas being violent. It's more a nod to everyone being safe. Well, trying to make a safe haven for him, because Thomas struggles with self-harm, and you don't want to set him off by saying anything that could cause him to harm himself. I don't know if you got that part. I wasn't implying that he was going to hurt anybody except himself. Thomas took a deep breath and swallowed. "People were staring again. I don't like it when they look," he said quietly, as if trying to shun his own thoughts. "Tell me, Thomas, what happened last time that you came here?" the man asked. Thomas rolled his eyes. "I went home early," he answered the man's question. "Exactly. Our goal is to keep you in school as long as possible. We need you to cooperate with us, however, because if you do not, your grades will undoubtedly fall short," Mr. Rockefeller criticized. "You know, if I wanted to be ridiculed and told that my own mental health is a tool for me to abuse, to go home early, I would have just told you that I cut. However, that's not what I'm doing," Thomas said, trying to restrain himself. "Of course, Thomas," he sighed. "Did you bring it again?" he asked. Thomas reached into his pocket, digging through until the tips of his fingers caught the feeling of metal. He threw the razor onto the desk and walked straight out of the room. He wasn't looking for repercussions. Soon after, his parents' car pulled up. I don't like this part. Tears in his mother's eyes, he couldn't bring himself to look at her. "Why? Why do you keep doing this?" she begged. He didn't answer. "You brought a razor to school again? Do you even remember what happened last time?" she asked. "Yeah," he said. "Look, I know your father is rich, but we aren't made of money. We have other children to provide for. Think of what they feel," she asked accusingly. "I'm trying," he said, but that wasn't what he wanted to say. No, not even close. He wanted to say that he knew what he was doing was selfish, but he simply didn't care. After all, why would someone who hates himself speak truth to someone who was waiting to punish him for his thoughts? Without another word, he stepped into the passenger seat of the car and looked out the window as the car began to drive away from the high school that he was inside. It seemed less than a minute ago. In reality, it had been 30 minutes that he waited on that rock outside there, contemplating his own life. Something he did quite a lot, actually. So that is something that I want to focus on. The elements of time skipping for him, because it seems like everything is a blur to him when he's feeling this way. So I just wanted to point that out just in case anyone is here and actually paying attention to the story. The car stopped in front of his childhood home, the one he lived in since he was a baby. He didn't mind. He didn't like change. He instantly got out of the car and sped to his room, not taking another step to see his mother, who just watched as her son, her baby boy, was hurting, and there was not a thing she could do about it. Thomas slammed the door shut, locking the deadbolt before sitting on his bed, pulling the covers over his lap and looking down at his hands. He stayed like that for a while, you could say. It seemed like hours, but it was only 30 minutes. That's really all it takes. 30 minutes to decide if you're okay or not. Suddenly, he heard something coming up the stairs, and when his door opened, he saw his father standing there. "Hey, buddy, what's wrong?" he said. Thomas scoffed. "Nothing, I'm just thinking about something," Thomas said. He didn't look his father in the eyes. "No," couldn't bring himself to. "You scared your mother, that I bet you know," his father said. Thomas still didn't pay attention, lost in his own world. And that is all I have written for today. I plan to write more, but right now I am not going to do that. I might write more later, but that's all I have right now. Thank you for anyone who made it this far into the video. I appreciate all of you, really I do. And if you enjoyed the video, please like it, tell me what you thought of the story so far, and if you don't mind, subscribe. I feel like such a bitch saying that, but I really do enjoy it when people subscribe to me, and I know you probably don't really care, but if you enjoyed this video and want to see more like this, please check out my other videos. I am going to be releasing an entire reading of my book, The Change, here soon. So if you're interested in that, please tune in on either today or some other time. Thank you for watching, and have an amazing day, amazing night, whatever it is that you are in the time period that you are in right now. And have just a wonderful rest of your time. Goodbye.